It looks like they're hosing out a gerbil cage, too. Working from home is a trip, let me tell you. Welcome to our weekly campaign update. My name is Andy Moore. I'm the executive director of People Not Politicians. This has been a big week. We refiled our petition on Monday. The Secretary of State's office has received the mail. They've stamped it as received, and that means that it's starting this weekend, basically, the clock starts running for someone to file a legal challenge. If you remember, we've been down this road before, twice. The first time they challenged us on a couple of things, and the court asked us to go back and rewrite the gist, which is that little summary paragraph that goes on the signature page that you sign. And other than that, everything else was fine. They said it was constitutional, it was all good. The second time we refiled just a couple of days later, went back to the courts with another challenge. In that case, they said your gist looks good, the policy is still good, still constitutional, and move on down the road. Of course, at that point, it was the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, and we couldn't move on down the road to signature collection. So what we expect is that, in about 2 weeks, I think around the 28th, we should find out if someone challenges us in court again. But the policy itself hasn't really changed. It's all the same stuff. How the commission is formed, who's on it, all that stuff is the same. The only thing is that when we submitted it before, the timing was worded with an eye on redistricting in 2021, because that's what we expected. Nobody expected to be doing this in the middle of a pandemic. So we had to rewrite a couple of phrases that basically now just say, as soon as this measure is approved by voters, the commission is formed and they get to go about drawing the districts. Even more exciting is that since we filed, you guys, this week, there's been an outpouring of support. Like, I expected some, let's be honest, but this has been tremendous. So you guys have really stepped up. Tons of donations, tons of emails, just random emails that just say like, yes! However you pronounce YA in many, many S's. My neighbor is deciding to use his leaf blower right now as I sit at home recording this video. So what we need is all of your help, right? So we need as many people as possible that are willing to gather at least a few signatures. Now, obviously, we'll be collecting signatures, with the threat of COVID hanging over the state, and that's a big deal. As luck would have it, perhaps, I used to work in infectious diseases. In fact, I ran the largest infectious diseases clinic in the state for the last 10 years. And we've got some really great infectious disease physicians who have been volunteering in the campaign and are helping consult us along the way and how we proceed with signature collection to make sure we do it in a safe and effective way. Altogether, we need 180,000 valid signatures from registered voters, and that's a big deal. So what we need next is your help. We need hundreds of volunteers across the state that are willing to take a packet and get a few signatures, right? Now, if you get 5, that's great. If you get 55 or 155, that's even better. If you would like to help, please go to our website, peoplenotpoliticians.org, and sign up right there so that you can help us get signatures. If that doesn't feel comfortable to you, but you want to help out in some other way, great. We've got opportunities for you to volunteer in lots of different ways. If you're willing to do some phone banking, make some phone calls, send some text messages, help organize things on the back end, we need your help too. This is an effort that is about people, not politicians, and so we need people like you to help out. I encourage you, please go to our website, peoplenotpoliticians.org, and go click on that blue join button. And there's some check boxes that you can kind of pick the different ways that you think you could be most effective at helping our campaign. We would love to have you help. And even if you are pressed for time and your brain space is full of trying to cope with starting school and kids and COVID and all that stuff, if you just think, you know what, can I just give some money? Would that be helpful? Absolutely yes, right? We would love to raise $5,000 before the end of this month. It seems like a big goal, but we can definitely do it with your help. So again, go to the website, peoplenotpoliticians.org, click on that red donate button, and throw us a few bucks. If you can do $5, that's huge. If you can do $25, even better. If you can make it recurring every month, well, then that helps us like really kind of gauge our cash flow, and so we know what is coming down the road, and that really helps go a long way. The truth is, your donation times all of the other people who are doing the same thing adds up to a really big impact, and that is what makes this possible. I also want to tell you that next Tuesday, August 18th, we're going to host a Tele town hall to kind of give you an update on the campaign and talk about how you can be involved and give you a little more in-depth information about what we're trying to do with People Not Politicians. And so if you are new to the campaign or you've just signed up and you're wanting to get involved, that's a great way to do it. You can go to our website and click on the events tab, and you can find out information about that as well. Please also follow us on social media. We are at PNP4, the number 4, OK, on Twitter and Facebook, and it's People Not Politicians, all spelled out on Instagram. We would love to have you be a part of what we're doing here. Now, if you've seen in the news that, members of the opposition, namely politicians, are trying to frame this as some kind of like weird liberal takeover or something, that's not the case. And it's funny to me because this is a cause, ending gerrymandering is a cause that has been championed by people on both sides of the aisle for decades. When I was growing up, I remember Ronald Reagan, who was the president when I was a kid, talking about gerrymandering. And in fact, we shared some clips earlier this week about, he very specifically says,
what is needed now is a change in the every 10 years redistricting.
You say you think that the census should be taken more frequently?
No, what I think it should be done is that there should be a bipartisan commission appointed every 10 years to redraw the districts to reflect what were the changes in population and so forth. Instead, when you leave it to the legislatures, it is a conflict of interest.
Which is exactly what we've all been saying for more than a year. It doesn't matter which party's in power. In fact, if you look at Virginia and how it's happened over there, they are working on a similar measure, right, to end gerrymandering. And when it started, Republicans were in power, and they were opposed, very hesitant, and they finally passed it right at the end. An election happened, Democrats came to power, and then they were opposed to it. Doesn't make sense. This isn't a partisan issue, this is a power issue. No matter which party is in power, they want to draw districts and make the rules to benefit them and to keep themselves in power. They're playing by the rules. It's just the rules are unfair, and they are stacked in favor of the politicians. Because of course, if you have the power to make the rules, you're going to make rules that benefit you. Our proposal fixes that. It shifts the rules and puts the power back where it belongs.